Hi, I'm at Weta Workshop, and we're talking to Rob Gillies. Rob, tell me what your title is and what you do here at Weta.
My title is the Head of Manufacture at Weta Workshop, and I guess I'm in charge of the manufacturing process. So we'll get a job and we'll quote on it, we'll work out how we're actually going to build the thing, and that changes every single job. And then we'll get it on the workshop floor. I'll do a bit of quality control over the product as well. A little bit of art direction on the workshop floor, and then deliver it to the client and make sure they're happy.
Now, you're a painter and you studied art. How did you end up in filmmaking?
Really, I just had a friend who came up to Wellington and had come across this company back in 2000 called Weta Workshop. And back then, Weta wasn't really a known name or anything. I mean, they'd done a couple of films, but it was before Lord of the Rings, King Kong, Narnia, Avatar, any of those sort of projects. So relatively unknown company, but they were about to start out on Lord of the Rings. So I packed my life up essentially down south here in New Zealand, drove up to Wellington, and got a job on it. Yeah.
This movie especially, it seems like it had a lot of intricacies involved. What were the biggest challenges for you in bringing this to the screen?
There was a lot of them. This was a really challenging film, really rewarding film because of the challenges. But you know, it was a very prosthetics-heavy film. We had a lot of challenges like the Major's thermoptic suit, which was something we'd never done before or approached before. There was a lot of props, which were challenging. Yeah, it was a hugely rewarding film.
Now, you've been at Weta for a long time.
Yeah.
What other movies have you worked on?
We've worked on a lot. We've worked on Avatar, King Kong, Narnia, Chappie, Elysium. We did a little bit of work on Superman back in the day, Spider-Man as well, Lord of the Rings, obviously. Yeah, there's a long list there, yeah.
And did you start out in TV shows? It was Hercules and Xena?
That was the company back before my time, yeah.
Oh,
yeah, so
okay.
that was Richard and Tanya and the gang. That was kind of really where they got their start, yeah.
So tell me about Pete's Dragon, because that's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, cool.
And
Yeah,
tell
yeah.
me about what you did for that movie.
Well, we only had a little part to play on that. So what our little part on that job was making prosthetic slip-on latex shoes that the actor playing Pete could run around in. So it looked like he had bare feet on, but in fact it was a little latex booty essentially that he put his foot on. It had a felt pad on the inside of it to protect his feet and an outer skin of latex, but it was glued essentially onto the sides of his feet. Very similar to what we did back in the day on Lord of the Rings, where all the feet were glued onto the actors. But essentially it was meant to replicate and look like his foot, so he could run around the bush, you know, without getting stabbed in the sole of the foot with a stick or something. So yeah, that was our role on it.
How many people do you have on your team?
Well, it fluctuates. At the moment, we've got about 100 crew on the workshop floor, and that's just the manufacturing workshop floor. And that can fluctuate up to about, we kind of get to a maximum of about 300, 350 until we just run out of floor space to put people. Yeah.
What's a typical day like here at Weta Workshop?
It's pretty crazy. It's pretty all over the place. We work on multiple jobs all at the same time. So we've got about 12 odd major contracts going through at the moment. And so that's 12 different clients to service and all the briefs that come in that overlap. So it's a lot of meetings, a lot of discussions, a lot of R&Ding and trying out new processes. We always want to push the boundaries of what we're doing, you know, and try to up our game every film. So yeah, it's always a mixed bag every day. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite film that you've worked on, or a favorite type of film that you like to work on?
At the moment, I'm really enjoying working on sci-fi films. I think we're starting to get really good at them. Like, we've invested heavily in our infrastructure and our technology. The teams seem to have their heads around it. The design team are putting out some amazing designs at the moment, concept designs for new stuff, and really pushing the boundaries around that. 3D printing's coming on in a big way as well, so it's making it very accessible to get sharp, clean lines on things. So at the moment, I'm really excited about sci-fi.
Did you use any 3D printing for Ghost in the Shell?
We certainly did. Yeah. We actually bought machines specifically for the job. But we have a fleet of 3D printers at Weta Workshop, ranging in different sort of price points, and that kind of dictates quality level. So we've got a bunch of really quick little machines that we use just for prototyping things to see if they're big enough, if we've got the thicknesses and everything correct before we put it onto the bigger machines. But we've got about 25 3D printers down at Weta Workshop now.
What's the most amazing thing you can make on a 3D machine?
The most amazing thing, I'm trying to think of what we have made. Pretty much anything, which is the cool thing about 3D printers, you know, like you can do things which aren't mechanically possible because you can print inside different objects, you know, so Yeah, I think it's really just up to your imagination, yeah.
What was the biggest challenge for your team on Ghost in the Shell?
Wow, there was a couple, eh? The thermoptic suit was definitely challenging. That was always going to be a challenging concept and idea and how we were going to get around that. Building a skin-tight silicone suit that could actually withstand the day-to-day rigors of shooting on a film set was certainly challenging, getting it to fit and pull on skin-tight. But even the process of creating and making that suit in the first place was a challenge. So yeah, probably the thermoptic suit.
And can I ask you what's next for you?
We've got a bunch of stuff in the pipeline, a bunch of exciting adventures we're about to go on. I can't name anything specifically, but we're very busy, which is cool.
Okay, thank you for talking to me today.
Yeah, great, thank you.